Hey up and welcome to Callum's Corner. Unfortunately, I'm having to make a video. I was hoping to be live with you, but those of you who have been watching will know there's been 3 or 4 abortive attempts now, and it doesn't seem like it's going to happen, which is a shame. YouTube seems to be complicated to go live on. Facebook seems to be easy, but YouTube seems to be difficult. However, I will work it out, and it is something we'll start doing on a regular basis. If you like the live time, I quite like being live with you because it means that I'm just talking to you rather than so many YouTubers seem to have loads of edits and records and stuff. I just want to be chatting to you. Anyway, let's talk about the transfer deadline, which is something that if you're under the age of 25, 20, you will have grown up with. For myself, it's still a little bit weird. I much preferred it when we could make transfers all through the season. Anyway, I have got my phone, which is proof for some of you. Well, here's me on there. It's proof to some of you that I'm not recording on a Nokia brick. It is a Samsung. It's just a bit knackered now. Anyway, let's go through some questions that you guys have sent in to me. So, number 1, we've got emotion here. Like emotion, spelt with an A. And he says, here's a couple of football questions for you, King. Nice. Who's your favourite current player? Now that's really, really difficult. I was a big fan of Mesut Ozil. He's gone off the boil a little bit recently. Favourite current player? It's got to be Messi, isn't it? Ronaldo gets an awful lot of goals, but Messi is just something special. He's not an athlete like Ronaldo. He's just a bloody magician with that ball. Love Leo Messi, would happily pay to watch him play. What else have we got? Who do I think will win the Premier League? He asks as well. I think it's going to be Man United. I just think Jose Mourinho's will to win is unparalleled. They've still got enough players in the squad who have won leagues before, which will be big for them in a run-in. I just think he's rejuvenated them. He gets his business done early, and he brings in the players that his team really does need. Ibrahimovic is a magnificent signing. I don't care how old he is. We're lucky to have him in the Premiership. He's going to be a pleasure to watch. Eric Bailey, from the few games that I've seen, looks to be an absolutely brilliant player. A modern defender, full of energy. He's athletic, he's strong, he's good in the tackle. He's done well, and the guy they signed off Borussia Dortmund, once he found his feet, I think will be massive for them as well. And that's not even counting Pogba, who is potentially a massive player. They spent a lot of money on him, and he does need to deliver, but I think he could do over the next, not just this year, over the next kind of 5 years, 6 years, he could be huge for them, Pogba, absolutely huge. Alright, let's see what else have we got. If you could meet, this is from the Gaming Bear, he says, if you could meet a few footballers, who would they be and why? What would you want to do with them? So Alan Shearer and pretty much anyone from the Blackburn Rovers title winning team in 94-95 would be right up there. I'd just love to sit down and chat to him about his memories at the time, you know, what was actually going on in the dressing room. Outside of Blackburn players, I'd really like to meet Thierry Henry. He seems like quite a funny guy, and also Jamie Carragher. I quite like his banter. He's quite funny. Yeah, probably Thierry Henry though, I'd say would be my number 1 outside of Blackburn players. Let's see what else is going on there. So Tom Sadler says, I'm the type of guy to giggle when I'm pooing and water splashes my bum. That's ridiculous. Who has been the most underrated signing of the summer? That's a difficult one. That comes from Oliver Morgan. A lot of people saying Sadio Mane. I don't think you can say he's underrated when they paid 30 odd million for him. I think he's a very good signing, potentially, especially if he gets some consistency to his game, because he seems to be one to have a magnificent game and then be pretty ordinary the next week. But I think he could be a very, very good signing, but I don't think he's the most underrated signing. Tell you what, Adam Paxton is on with a great shout here, Negredo. Now, he is an international striker. He was brilliant for Man City in his first season. He could do real good business for Middlesbrough, and they've paid bugger all for him, haven't they? Who else is there? Underrated signings. It's hard because transfer business nowadays is they spend so much money. I don't know how you can call an underrated signing. Rob Holding is a good young centre back actually, who's gone to Arsenal from Bolton. I saw a fair bit of him in the Championship. He's been a bright spot for Bolton, and if he continues to develop, he could be a really good signing for very little money, and that would be an underrated signing, I'd say. Let's have a little look on the mobile phone device and see what other questions we've got. How much do you think Paul Pogba is actually worth? That's a difficult question in today's climate, isn't it? But that's coming from James Carpenter. Now, if I'm judging it on the Euros and what I've seen them do respectively, I would say you're comparing it to Xhaka signing for Arsenal, playing similar positions. They paid 30 million for him, and he looked really good in the Euros. Pogba actually probably played worse than Xhaka, but you got to go on what he's done for the last couple of years for Juventus as well. I think 50 million, 60 million would have been a fair price. 100 million is a lot of money, but you got to look at what United need, I guess. And if he does it for the next 6 seasons for them and they win titles, people will be looking back and saying what a brilliant signing he was. It doesn't matter about the money. It's not paid placement of products or anything. It's just me enjoying a sip of Coca-Cola there because I'm talking quite a lot. Anyway, let's see what else we've got. Cristiano Ronaldo or Brazilian Ronaldo? Oh, Brazilian. It's the original Ronaldo for me. He was such a special player. If he hadn't had the injuries, he would have been the all-time greatest goal scorer. I think we'd be talking about him in the terms of almost like a religion. He was such a good player. He was so unlucky with his physical breakdowns. Cristiano Ronaldo is brilliant. He's a machine, but he has very rarely been unfit. He's got that physicality, which means he's played in so many games, and his stats also reflects that a little bit. Also, he's brilliant, but for me, the original Ronaldo. I'm old school. Osama Bin Laden, it's an interesting name, says Stoke are an alright club. Stoke are definitely an alright club. I've got a lot of time for them. Building slowly, doing it the right way. They've got Sparky Hughes as their manager, and he is one of my all-time heroes. He is one of the best managers I've seen at Blackburn Rovers. We used to go out on the pitch, the players, their chests puffed out, led by Ryan Nelson. He brought in Craig Bellamy. We played good football. We were hard in the tackle, and we got the ball forward. We moved it quick. We were attacking from angles. We played with 2 wingers, Morten Gamps Pedersen, Bentley. So yeah, I've got all the time in the world for Stoke, and in particular Mark Hughes. I think he will continue to develop them. Alright, Liam Gent says, I'm an Arsenal fan and I really like our new signings, Mustafi and Lucas Perez. What do you think of them? Liam, it's a bit of a weird situation in regards to this one. I'm really happy that Arsene Wenger has gone out and done some bloody business. But I can't help thinking that these 2 players are not in the top draw players in the world. And I really do think that's what Arsenal need now and what Wenger should be targeting. I look at the way Mourinho did his business. He targeted the players he needed early and he got it done. And I think Wenger has again messed around too much. You know, he would have been better off spending more money on an absolutely top striker, I think. I know that's easy for me to say, but it just frustrates me. These 2 look like very good players from what I've seen on them, and that's not an awful lot, just to European football and stuff. However, I don't think they're in that top draw. Ozil was, Sanchez is, but I think he signed a couple of a couple of very good players there, rather than going all out and pushing for an absolutely world-class player. Easier said than done because there's not that many of them out there, but that is what Arsenal need to move them on to the next level. Still, it strengthens their squad and they should be fighting for the title. And if they're not this year, then I think Wenger's got to go, regardless of the past. And I've got all the respect in the world for the bloke because he's been a magnificent manager. But if he can't do what needs to be done, this has got to be his last season. Fingers crossed though. I like Xhaka, and the centre-back in particular as well, I think will strengthen them immensely. Right, let's have a little look at what else we got here. Any more football questions in my comments? Who do you think Chelsea should sign, says Jacob NE. Any relation to Will Jacob? No, in all seriousness, I'm not too sure what they should sign. They need another centre-back. I do like the look of Zuma, though, but I don't think Gary Cahill is top class. And John Terry's getting on a bit. So it'll be interesting to see who they sign in regards to that. I've heard David Luiz might be coming back. I know he's a cult hero, but he has holes in his game in terms of defence. So I'd be surprised to see Conte bringing him back. He doesn't seem like a Conte centre-back to me. If money's no object for Chelsea, I think you've you've got the attackers now. You've pretty much got the midfield. It's difficult, isn't it, how to strengthen that Chelsea team? You could maybe do with one more world-class central midfielder, although you've got Kante now, and he is brilliant. And you could do with a new centre-back, a really good one. Right, let's have a little look at my next questions. This is off football, but Pepe the Mixtape is asking why a corner. It's a metaphorical corner. It's my corner of the internet rather than a corner of a room. Although I am setting myself up a little filming area, which will be in the corner hopefully, and I hope you will all enjoy that. Just a nice white background. Yeah, really pushing to make these videos as professional as possible. And I have downloaded the some video editing software just to be able to make these a little bit smoother and cleaner, which I am aware needs to happen. Right, lots of questions about Pogba. We've gone over that. Good signing, possibly overpaid. We'll know over the next couple of seasons, won't we? Who's your favourite YouTuber? Says Kieran Clarkson. I'm actually going to save that. I'm going to do a series of YouTube reviews. But just because I didn't really use YouTube for the last few weeks, and I'm finding loads of people, some of them are funny, some of them are absolute spasmoids, so I will be reviewing my finds over the next few weeks. Where do I think, this is from LRW, where do I think Arsenal are going to come in the Premier League? I tell you, it's such a tough question, that, because I've got all the talent in the world, but Wenger just seems to lack that steel now. I think they're going to finish 4th, maybe even 5th, to be honest with you. Man United are going to be so strong under Mourinho. Guardiola has got Man City playing beautiful stuff already, but I don't know whether, this being his first season in the Premiership, they'll have quite enough to win the league this year. It might be a bit of a learning curve for him, and they do tend to have bad patches as well. So I think they may end up 2nd. I think Chelsea are going to be pushing under Conte. He's a great manager, and they'll be 3rd. And then 4th is open. You know, it could be Arsenal, could be Liverpool. They've strengthened. Klopp's getting them playing some good stuff now. Just need the consistency there. And there's Tottenham as well. You know, Janssen's a good signing for them. Levy should have pushed the boat out more. I think that would frustrate me being a Tottenham Hotspur fan. Daniel Levy, he gets players at a good price, but he misses out on signings because he hasn't got the balls to spend the money. And he's difficult to deal with for all the other managers as well when they want to sign players off Tottenham. I was angry with him when they signed David Bentley. He pushed our price down a bit. It's frustrating. Little shout out here for Joshua Swarby, as he's left a comment there asking for one. What else have we got going on here? Dan Moore says, do I think Arsenal's transfer window has gone well? It's gone better than it could have gone, better than it looked like going a couple of days ago, but I still think it could have gone better if Wenger had identified the targets earlier and just gone all out for them and got them. Who cares about spending a couple £1 million more? They've got the cash reserves. They need world-class players now. They really do. Right, what else have we got? Best signing of the transfer window. Slightly different to most underrated signing. I think it's Ibrahimovic. I know he's on massive wages, but I think he's going to light up the Premier League this year. Even if it's just for one season, we're going to get some moments of magic from him, and I'm excited about it. Any other questions in here? Someone telling me to do more self-defense videos? Yep, that's coming. That's coming. If there's any situations you're particularly scared of, let me know. Let's try and find one more question. One more question for you. Lots of people in my comments saying they used to hate my videos. They came here from Will NE, which I'm massively grateful to Will for, by the way, and for all of you for coming and watching me, and that you're now sticking around, which is fantastic. That makes me so happy. I know I may not have given the best account of myself in that original Tic Tac rant video, but, you know, until you've been in that situation, it's hard to know how you will react, and it was a difficult one. Few people suggesting that I might be part of the Illuminati. Definitely not. Actually got quite into reading about the Illuminati a few years ago and lost months of my life just getting caught in this whole web of, I don't know whether it was lies, deceit, I don't know how much of it was true, but yeah, the Illuminati sound pretty disgusting, so don't go near them, and I'm definitely not part of it. Jack Wilshere, that's something that needs to be talked about, and that is a question from IITXMX. I don't know what that name is, mate. But yeah, Jack Wilshere, he really hasn't pushed on, and it's looking like he's going to go on loan. Now, a bit controversial, but I really hope he doesn't go to Crystal Palace. Now, nothing against him as a club. I lived up the road from Crystal Palace a few years ago, and I used to watch a few of their games. Great fans. It's Alan Pardew for me. That man has got no plan B. His team is always set up the same. And it's great when they get on a run, you know, they look like world beaters. As soon as something starts getting wrong, though, he doesn't seem to be able to change it around. Really think Alan Pardew is massively overrated. And that is not what Jack Wilshere needs. Yeah, it'd be good for him to be playing week in, week out in the Premiership, but I think he should push himself, move abroad like Joe Hart's done. He could have been battling away at the bottom of the Premiership for Sunderland, but he's gone and pushed himself to go over to Torino, to, you know, experience a different culture, learn about Italian goalkeeping. Jack Wilshere should do the same. He should go to someone like Roma, AC Milan, someone who would give him games every week, but he would be playing a high standard and adding to his game, learning from the different style of play and the other players. Push yourself, Jack. Don't settle for Crystal Palace. If you're going to go to anyone in the Premiership, maybe West Ham or something, someone who's got a chance of maybe doing a surprise Champions League push. But I think Pardew would not be good for your career. I think he's an idiot. Anyway, that's been my transfer deadline video. Sorry, it's been very long-winded. I'm seeing it's like 15, 16 minutes now, which is probably too long. But hey-ho, we'll know more next time. And next time, actually, hopefully we'll be able to do it live, because that would be awesome.